Before beginning to play this game, we set our group's objects as with higher star and SQ rating and normal price, take the biggest share of the market, and then use private label and scale effect to supply the cost. And then build a local or workshop nearby to reduce transportation cost and tariffs. Then we analyze different situations in the 4 main markets to set this strategy. First, we analyzed the North America with superior materials 56% and stable frequency of customers and high reputation and mature market. Then is Latin America, geographic advantage, low shipping fees to North America and plan to build more factory. Next is Europe Africa, with independent market, high level of consumption, no exportation to other markets due to high tariffs. Finally, we analyze Asia Pacific. This is a big market with lower production costs, low tariffs, developing market and fast growth speed, with high SKU, variety of models and implant option C. Finally, we set the strategy based on this analysis and our global object. First, we turn the North America into a high-end market. Then is Latin America. We will provide product to itself and North America's low-end market. Then develop more in the Asia-Pacific market with slightly overstandard price and high SKU to get a bigger market share. Finally, make Europe an independent market because of high tariffs in both exportation and importation. This is all for part 1.
In year 16, the strategy of each company becomes more clearly than ever. We can conclude that Company A and I are similar, as they both provide rather low SQ rating shoes with a price much lower than the market average, while Company A, D, G, and H have a higher SQ rating, among which Company D has the highest cost-performance ratio, as well as the largest capacity. Based on this fact, we don't think we can compete with Company D by offering a lower price, as we cannot provide as many shoes as they do. So in year 16, our decisions are based on this assumption. Firstly, the Internet segment. As our SQ rating remains higher than the market average, we decide to lower our price to somewhere a little above the average to add competence while remaining pretty profitable. In addition, in order to increase our market share, we added the service of free shipping and increased the advertising expenditure to make our products more attractive. As for the wholesale segment, we lowered our price as well. In North America and Europe Africa, we were hoping to rely on the celebrity effects to boost our business, but many companies increased their advertising expenditure, and we didn't keep up, so our performance in these 2 areas were not ideal. But in Asia Pacific and Latin America, our advantages in price are more evident. In addition to celebrity appeal and the shorter delivery time, we have better performance in these 2 areas.
So as for our strategy for the private market, we have developed the private label segment from the first year in all markets because it is projected to grow about 10% annually in years 11 to year 15, which is higher than the projected growth for branded athletic footwear. Besides, obtaining private label contracts is a profitable avenue for keeping our plants running near full capacity, thus helping to drive down overall unit costs. Considering the high risk of these segments, our pricing strategy depends on our competitors, and we have cut the cost on following the strategy of selling the products made in the same region. And as for each area, for the Northern America, in year 11, we didn't have a clear strategy for the private label segments. we just use the remaining capacity to lower the fixed cost. And as the planned capacity grows in the next 5 years, in year 16, we put more capacity in private label because of its profitability. As for the market of Europe, Africa, compared to year 11, we emphasized the private label segment in Europe, Africa because of its weak competition, and we have occupied 45% of the market in year 16. For the markets Asia Pacific, in year 16, we have reduced the products offered in the market because the competition has been intensifying since year 14. And for the market Latin America, compared to year 11, we have also emphasized the private label segments in this area in year 16. We have built extra plants in this area in year 13, which allows us to reduce the cost and the price of products and to provide a large amount of products.
Here we come to the comparison on objectives and strategies between the very beginning and year 6. At the very beginning, for branded label products, we hold the objective that we want to make high SKU rating with normal price. To do that, we aim to seize the biggest share of market. While in reality, like in North America and Europe, Africa, we fail to achieve the average level of market share. Nevertheless, we almost have 1 star more than the average and set a favorable price. To make the conclusion, there is a narrow gap between the expected and realistic market share in the area of NA and EA, part of which we are caused by the strategic mistake in year 13. Besides, Company D with high SKU rating yet low price also squeeze our market share. Next, let's see the strategies. We have set different business strategies for each region as you saw before. In reality, we came across some problems, so we have to make some adjustments. Particularly, we recognize that Europe, Africa market has much higher tax, so we have planned to build a factory there. However, due to our decision mistakes in the year 13, we have a quite tight budget, so we failed to do that. The products depend on Asia Pacific, which has the biggest capacity, 4,800.
The objective of private labor are to make use of plentiful capacity and use private labor and scale effect to build cost and gain profits. For each market, we execute a different strategy because the situation varies. First, I speak about North America. In consideration of the stiff competition among 6 companies and the company who occupies a 70% share of market demand, we decide to maintain supply and reduce price appropriately, as the demand in year 15 has doubled. As a result, our bid has succeeded. In Europe-Africa market, competition increases year by year. Our company market share remains large and stable. We chose to make supply and price stay same as in the previous year, and the bid succeeded. The future strategy is to appropriately reduce supply for North America and Europe markets due to the high cost. In year 16, our bid in Asia Pacific market has failed due to the fact that supply has far exceeded demand, and I&D company has turned the Asia Pacific market saturated. We applied a low price strategy, but other companies offer price more competitive in year 16, so the bid failed. Latin American market is unsaturated and has low production costs. It's an area which we have focused on development. We plan to increase supply gradually after establishment of plans. Thus, we gain a good result. The bid has succeeded. Well, that's the end of part 3.
Now, let's do the BXG game part 4. What have we learned from this game? We will have 6 sectors about the strategy, and the first is the sales forecast. Sales forecast, we have the strategy in general that we use different strategies in different regions because of different reasons. And second, in segmentation, there are 2 parts. The first is the internet. In the internet market, we use high quality, high price strategy. That means our price is more expensive than the price of wholesale. And the second is the wholesale part. The wholesale part, we use the strategy of a high quality, like the ranking of SQ rating. We will level up the SQ rating, and the model number. We also make it bigger, so that we can bid successfully. And the second part of the plant capacity and upgrades. For the regions that the cost is high, especially in North America, we lower this region's capacity to make profit. And also, we build capacity in the regions, for example, Latin America, that is near North America, so there will be no more transportation expenses. And also, the cost in the Latin America is very low. And there are 4 options to upgrade the plant, A, B, C, D. We always try, and we found that the option C is the most effective way to upgrade the plants. And third part is the branded production and distribution. The first is to increase the capacity. How to increase the capacity? We increase the overtime to make it augmentation. And second, to increase the SQ rating. We found that there are 2 options to increase the SQ rating. First is to increase the percentage of superior materials, and second, there are lots of reasons, like we can make the price, or we can use lots of money, and also we have to lower the cost. To lower the cost, we can distribute most of the products to the regions that the costs are low.
We have 3 strategies for advertising. First, spending money on advertising when big celebrity is unsuccessful, so we can maintain our influence in different areas even we don't have celebrity effect. Second, we use formula to calculate the price we use for bidding. Celebrity equals to appear multiplied by the sum of wholesale price and internet price. Also, to save our unnecessary expenses, we prefer to terminate the agreement with celebrity when the expenses of bidding leads to negative growth in profits. For private label, we first judge our competitors' trends in different areas through market snapshot, then adjust our production and distribution. Adjust our price by estimating competitors' price in order to set the market share. For finance cash flow, first we borrow money when ending cash is negative, and we repay a loan when ending cash is enough to improve the credit rating. In the longer long term, it's more cost effective. This is the end of our presentation.